What's up, y'all? This is Dr. Jewel, and I am so excited to partner with Yes Lord Radio in my new radio show, Ask Dr. Jewel. I'm a doctor of nursing, a professor, a clinician, and your go-to for all things pertaining to mental health, mental wellness, and mental illness. Look, y'all, just call me America's MHS, Mental Health Specialist. So look, you all, it's time. It's time to get your minds right with Ask Dr. Jewel. Yeah. What's up, y'all? This is Dr. Jewel. It's so good to be here on this day. Lord, thank you for another day. Lord, I thank you for one more day. One more day. Lord, I thank you for one more day to sing your praise. Woo! Yes, Lord, thank you for one more day, because, honey, yesterday's journey was a little sketchy.
Yesterday is gone.
Baby, yesterday is gone, y'all. So I am so glad to be here today. I got a couple of things that I want to lift up on today that I pray will bless you. But first of all, before I get into this show, I want to talk about the last show. I want to talk about intimacy. You know, because we talked about intimacy last time, and I'm hoping that you all out there listening, I hope that you upped your intimacy game. You know what I mean? Because we talked about, Lady V, remember, we talked about physical intimacy. That's the one everybody, gets with. Okay,
yeah,
the physical. That. Yeah, but then we talked about emotional intimacy.
Oh my God.
And then, we have the intellectual intimacy,
How do you stimulate me?
Yeah, how do you,
my mind.
Your intelligence, your mind, honey, because your mind matters, baby.
Your
and
mind
then
matters.
We talked about spiritual intimacy, like your values, what you believe. And then another one, experiential intimacy. Yes. And a lot of people were kind of thrown off on that when they were like, Dr. Joe, what does that one mean? But now that you talk about it, because, when you have shared experiences, Lady V, that can bring about an intimacy. That's why you got to work. Why do you think they call them workplace romances and stuff? Okay. You experiencing some intimacy that's a little different than you share with your, spouse, a significant other at home. So I'm just saying, you got to watch out for these intimacies, and you have to put a barrier. There's one. Lady V, there is
Buckle
one,
up.
Yes, that we left out. I'm bringing this one. Okay, this is from Dr. Jewel, straight from Dr. Jewel. This is self-intimacy.
Self?
Yes, self-intimacy. Okay, I need you to raise your mind up. Raise it up, hallelujah. Raise it up. Okay, like self-intimacy is, how do you nurture yourself?
Yes.
Like, how do you care? How do you caress your emotions and feelings? How do you value them? Like how do you nurture your soul and pour into you? How do you feed your spirit? Okay.
Right.
How do you nurture your heart and guard your heart? See, that is called self-intimacy. That's when you're into you, not to the point where you're selfish, but it is about you. What are you doing to care for you, nurture you? So I want everyone to practice self-intimacy, because you matter.
So this is not a tweet type thing, okay? So not the tweet type of self-care, okay, or self-intimacy.
Right.
We just want to be clear on that.
Yes, let's be clear about that one. Real clear. So look, Lady V.
Yes, ma'am.
We are going to talk about on this show.
What are we talking about?
Okay, I just had to revisit those, okay? Because that was really important.
Let's clean it up.
Because a lot of people, clean it up. Because a lot of people got healed from that, y'all. I'm telling you, I was hearing stories from people saying, you know what? No one that did, let me give you one testimony before we move on. Like, one lady came to me and she said, I, at my job, it's this guy I work with, and we have a working relationship, but he will pour out his feelings to me and just talk about, some of the things he fears and just his struggles and relationships with his wife and kids. And he was just and I was just a great listener, and I would just listen because I thought that was being a good co-worker, good friend. And so he would just emotionally attached to me. Well, she said she got a call from the wifey,
Oh.
and the wifey said, you can't talk to my husband anymore without me being present, and I need to be included in the text messaging and everything.
Wow.
And so she was just disturbed because she's like, I don't want a relationship with this dude. It's just that he shared with me and I was just there. And I said, honey, that's emotional intimacy. See, some of y'all out here, I hope you hear this today.
Listen.
Some of y'all are emotionally intimate with people.
With other people.
With other people.
Right.
And what happens is that your spouse or significant other, you're going home and you're shutting down on them.
Right.
You're not talking to them. They're like, honey, just talk to me. I'm here. And you're like, no, I'm good. And you go to your man cave, woman cave, whatever you are. And
Yeah,
you don't
she
open
said,
up. But
yeah.
you're sharing it with homegirl, homeboy at the job, and then you wondering why your significant other's like, you're absent, like I don't feel like I'm connected to you. You know why? Because you emotionally intimate with somebody else.
But Dr. Jewel, but wait though.
What?
But why though? That's the question. Then why does your spouse feel that way?
Come on, that's another thing too, Lady V, because are you an emotional safe place?
Wow. Yes.
See, you got to be an emotionally safe place for somebody to kind of have emotional intimacy in your relationship. You've got to be safe. They've got to be able to come to you and you not saying, say why you feel that way.
I told you.
Yeah, you fearfully and wonderful. I mean, the scriptures are great. Hallelujah. Lift them up. But the moral of the story is this: they don't need you to preach to them. They need for you to listen to them. They need to be able to be vulnerable before you. And a lot of us are so busy, so active, so self-absorbed that we don't create a space.
Right. Or make time.
Or make time for our kids, our
Yes.
loved ones to come and just pour themselves out. So if that's you today, I encourage you, work on your emotional intimacy with the people that you love. Be that place that they can come and be vulnerable. Be a safe place for them. Oh, Lady V, one more thing.
I think I know what you're going to say. Go ahead. Say it. What you going to say?
I also had someone to tell me that they went to someone thinking that they were an emotional safe place. And that person exposed them.
See?
Oh, and from this point forward, they were a child. They are a full-grown adult. Guess what? They don't trust that person to this
That's
point.
the word.
Okay,
That's
so
the word.
just know, as you practice emotional intimacy, realize that you've got to be a vault, baby. They need to be able to come and it needs to be left in a vault. I think I said enough. Look, check yourself, y'all. We talking about intimacy here. That's all about mental health, you all. That's what we're talking about.
Gotta get right.
So look, we're coming back. We're coming back for another part of this show. We're going to talk about stress.
Dun, dun, dun.
Is a mess. After the stress is gone. Woo! We trying to get this stress gone, y'all. It's time to get right with Ask Dr. Jewel. What's up, y'all? This is Dr. Joel, and we're going to talk about stress, honey, because stress is a hot mess, okay? Stress is a mess in so many different ways, and I am hearing over and over again, whether it's in the workplace, home, school, church, relationship, everything, people are stressed out. Everybody is stressed out. The majority of people at jobs are stressed. Everybody is stressed. And so you know what? It's causing us not to be healthy and well. So let's talk about stress a little bit. Lady B, we got to lean into this because this is one that is not going to go away.
It most definitely is not. And then you add COVID to it too?
Oh my goodness, we are done. So look, I want to talk about stress and just kind of talk about it. We just throw the name stress out. Yeah. First of all, I want to deal with the fact that, people like, I'm too blessed to be stressed. I want to put a pause on that. Press pause, baby.
You know we love saying. That's one of our favorite sayings, Dr.
Oh my
Joel.
goodness. T-shirts, coffee mugs, bumper stickers, everything about, I'm too blessed to be stressed. You know what? You can be blessed and stressed. So we are not going to church shame. We're not going to shame people because that's what's wrong. A lot of people are like, you know what? I love the church, but we don't keep it real. So we have to let people know, you know what, honey, you can be blessed. You are blessed. You're blessed because of of your position in Christ. If nothing else, honey, you are seated with Jesus Christ. So my thing is that because of who you are in him, okay? So we know positionally we are blessed people, period, end of discussion. But the moral story is that you're here in this earth with a bunch of broken systems, broken people, a whole lot of stuff is broken down here because we're in the world, okay?
Right.
We're in the world and things are broken, okay? And you're broken and I'm broken, okay?
We all broken.
We all is broken, okay? So the moral of the story is that we've got to deal with the fact that you can be blessed, yes, but you can also be stressed because of the cares of this world. So one thing about stress, I don't want us to deny it, okay? We got to come out of the fact people need to have a safe space. The church should be an emotionally and spiritually safe place for people to come and be able to talk about these things, okay? So stress is real. Now, I want to share something about stress that kind of is funny, but it's real, okay? So for example, when a person says, I'm stressed, okay, there is a stressor that causes stress, okay? Mm-hmm. Now, everybody is not stressed by the same stressor. So for example, stress is only stress when you allow it to stress you. I know that sounded kind of weird. Stress is only stress when you allow it to stress you. So let's talk about that a little bit.
I do get
it.
You do?
I do. Absolutely. Because, in order for you to be stressed, it presupposes that there is a stressor, okay? There's something that evoked this stress response. You feel me?
I do.
I
get it.
So for example, I want you to know that, but guess what? If you don't have a stressor, then
you don't have
don't have any stress. Okay, so
I got it.
The stressor causes the stress. So the thing is, people have to look at stressors. What is your stressor? Because your stressor evokes the stress response. So this is what I want to say here. All right, everybody stressor is different. So this is what I get into. A lot of people are like, girl, to go to church and talk to people and they're like, I'm stressed. You don't need to be stressed about that. Why are you stressed? I wouldn't be stressed about that. I don't let that stress me out. Don't let that stress you out. You too,
You too blessed to be stressed.
Absolutely. And you got to look at all things God has done. And you get off and then they start stress shaming you.
Right.
It's called S squared. Stress shaming you. Yes. All right. So what I want to share with people is that stress is an individual thing. Okay. What stresses me out may not stress you out. Right. What stresses me out is it's a combination of all of my lived experiences, my past, all of the things that I've been exposed to, dealt with. And so things that stress me out may not stress you out. Right. So what I'm saying, when we deal with stress and if someone comes and says that they're stressed or if you're stressed, we've got to deal with the fact that what is the stressor? Now, everybody's stressor is different. And when I say that, we can't stress shame. And when I say that, a bug in the corner. A bug in the corner may cause me a lot of stress. I mean, I may freak out just totally. I'm leaving the house. I'm going to sell this house. I can't do it. I can't live here. It's a bug in the corner. All right. And so you don't care anything about bugs. You were raised in the country. I mean, you were raised in the bricks. And the more of the story, you see a bug, you hit it with your hand. It's just not even, it just is what it is.
I mean,
you feel what I'm saying?
Right.
So the thing is that bug has a different meaning to different people. For one person, it is a stressor, and the other person, it's not.
Right.
So when we are loving each other well and talking to each other, if someone is stressing the bug, then it's not up to you to stress shame them and say, you shouldn't feel that way. Why do you feel that way? That's stupid. That just doesn't make any sense, because you don't have a right to stress shame someone.
Right.
So when your kids come and say, Mommy, this little girl or this little boy in my class is picking on me and they hurt my feelings. Why they hurting your feelings? Like, you shouldn't feel that way. And you go into this long thing. You know what you did? You just stress shamed them. People have the right to communicate to you their stressor. And as a result, when they do that, they can say, this is the causative factor of my stress.
So, Dr. Drew, wait just a second. I'm going to throw something in, y'all. This is off the cuff, y'all. But so can we also say then that stress is a form of anxiety?
Well, stress can cause anxiety.
Because it seems like you're stressed over maybe the fear of the unknown.
Right, you can be, but that's called excessive worry, and that is anxiety.
Okay.
So, thanks for, kind of, because somebody else may have that feeling. I mean, like, my stress has caused me anxiety.
Yes.
That means that you are hyper fixated on that stressor to the point that you anticipate it and it's not even there. Okay.
Okay. All right. Back to the regular scheduled program. I'm sorry. I just had that question.
That's all right. I like the sidebars. So stress is transferable.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Oh, you can transfer stress.
Oh,
okay.
yes.
You're like, Dr. Jewel, what do you mean? Okay, so I'm stressed about something, and next thing you know, I create a fire. Okay, and then you're like, I smell smoke, and then you get me to feel the same way about the stress that you feel about the stress. And so I pass my stress on. Another thing is that when I'm stressed, I start doing things, acting in ways. I start screaming and hollering. So, whatever I do to deal with my stress, you get the brunt of that, or the people around you get the brunt of that.
Right.
So stress is transferable. So you can't not deal with what stress can do, not only to you,
Right.
but to other people.
You expose them.
Your stress has an impact, honey.
Yes.
So you got to deal with it because it can be toxic. It can also be fatal. Look, stress will kill you.
Yes.
Remember that Fred Sanford show when he used to go, and that whenever it was a stressful event, a stressor came, he would be,
I'm coming,
Elizabeth.
I'm coming.
But you know what? That is a physical, cardiac issues,
Yes.
can be a physical effect of stress, especially chronic stress.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so I'm going to talk about that because we need to know that stress can kill you. And if I teach you the body and teach you how stress really works, then you'll be like, nah, baby, I'll back that thing up. No, we are not going. We are not.
My favorite phrase, Dr. Jewel.
What?
Girl, bye.
See,
I'm
bye,
not,
Felicia.
Not today. Bye,
not
Felicia.
today. Not
right.
today.
And you'll learn how to say that.
Because you're not going to kill me, because stress can kill me. All
Yes.
right. And so it's a slow death.
Yes.
In many cases, it's like stress. And we'll talk about it. It's like a faucet. You know how you have that sink, and it's not the plumber needs to really come and deal with it, right? And so it just drips a little bit of water down there. But honey, when you get that water bill, you're like, what in the world? Or a toilet is running, you're like, what's that sound? And you just ignore it, and that toilet running all the time, whatever, and that water's running, and next thing you know, your bill is extremely high. Honey, turn the corner. I'm telling you, that's what stress does to your body. It is like a valve is being turned on, and chemicals in your body are just coming out, and as a result, it's wreaking havoc. And you know what? You're going to pay the cost. You're going to pay the cost with your health, your physical and emotional health. So we got to deal with stress, Lady V.
I understand. Dr. Joy, are you going to talk about cortisol?
Yes. You want to go there? We can go deep.
We trying
honey.
to get the people healed.
We can go deep. Hey, let's do it. So you know what, y'all? It needs to be addressed and it needs to be eradicated. So let's go into that. Let's talk a little bit about the physiology of stress.
I like it.
Okay, so couple of things. All right, remember. Okay, let's rewind here. Remember, everybody's stress, it's an individual thing. Okay, your stress may not be my stress.
Right.
When we communicate stress, or when someone's communicating stress to us, we don't need to be stress shamed. You need to present a place where people can communicate that stress. And remember, you don't get the right to tell people what they should be stressed about or what they shouldn't be stressed about, okay? So we get those things in mind, we're going to turn the corner and we're going to go to what stress does to the body. So, couple of things I want to deal with, because you can't deal with stress without dealing with two parts of the brain, okay?
That's it.
So there's a part of the brain called the amygdala. AMYGDALA, amygdala. Okay, we're going to call her Amy for short.
Amy.
Amy, yes, Amy for short. And then we have other part of the brain called the prefrontal cortex. We're going to call her Cordy.
Hey, Cordy.
Amy and Cordy, okay? Now, Amy, she is like the alarm in your house. She's like the smoke detector, okay? Amy's the smoke detector. She is like the siren. She goes off when things are getting hot, when you're stressed, like when you're in danger.
Yes.
Amy sounds the alarm and says, it is time for everything to kick into gear so we can be safe, okay? She is the one that initiates fight, flight, or freeze, okay? Starts with Amy. Now, Cordy is the part of the brain. Cordy is the rational one. Cordy takes things into consideration. She looks at things, and with reason, okay? She's a rational part of the brain.
Yes.
Amy turns up all the time.
That's
okay.
me.
Now, see, and you know what? The majority of the people, when they're dealing with situations, Amy rules. Because Amy's a beast. Amy is just volatile. She just turns on.
She turned all the way up.
She turns up. And you know what? When Amy is in control, you don't think rationally.
Right.
You think to survive. You think based on pure, unadulterated emotions. You just are fired up, okay? So, for example, Amy sees smoke. Amy's like, it's a fire! And she starts
running.
all of the chemicals all through your
She
body.
running up out of
Next
there.
thing you know, because she's trying to get you safe. She's trying to run.
Yeah.
Now, if you can get past Amy, be like, Amy, chill out. Cordy
Cordy.
says, honey, it's just the grill. That's like the grill
Somebody
is supposed
put
to
out a
do.
candle.
Amy, chill out, honey. Yeah.
Right.
So the majority of the time, look, we have got to ascend past Amy.
Right.
And get to our rational part of the brain, Lady V, and that's what's happening.
Okay.
So a lot of us you hear people, I'm in my feelings, I'm
yes.
emotionally driven. You know what that means, basically? That means Amy rules.
I'm in
Everything
Amy right
sets
now.
you off. You are in Amy rules, and she is sounding off the sirens and causing all of your entire body to respond. So let me tell you what Amy does, okay? Amy is the reason why your heart starts beating fast. Okay? Amy is you get the butterflies in your stomach. Amy is the reason why you get a headache. Amy is the reason why sometimes your blood pressure is going up and it's high and you can't get it under control. Amy is the reason why a lot of sugar, glucose is being in your body, okay? Extra sugar in your body because Amy's trying to get you geared up and giving you the fuel that you need to fight on. And so
Amy also keep you from losing weight.
Oh, Amy will stop you from losing weight because of sugar. Amy does a lot of different things, Lady V. Amy makes you not remember things.
Right.
Amy has she is good. She is good because she tries to keep you safe.
She's necessary.
Right, she's necessary. But guess what?
What?
What happens is that when Amy shuts on that valve and tells the whole body, it's time to fight. It's time to fight. Now, let me tell you what that looks like. That looks like your boss coming into the office and saying something. You saying, you know what? I looked at your email and I saw something, in your email. Can you change that a little bit? Now, Amy, the emotional part of the brain. What you trying to say? Like, what do you mean? Are you trying to call me incompetent? I got 5 degrees. Amy goes off, sends an alarm off through your body, your heart racing, head hurting, everything. You just toe up and mad. Instead, that's what Amy does, okay? Now, instead of you pausing, breathing, listening to what the person is saying, it's just a sentence that someone may have read it. It doesn't have anything to do with your qualifications, your worth, your value, your degrees. Moving to Corey says, why are you tripping? They are just trying to help you,
Right.
or they're just telling you something that may be beneficial for the organizations or whatever. Nobody is discrediting your value, your worth, your job, your relevance, any of that, okay?
Right.
And so Corey gets you there. But when you are in a perpetual state of stress, Amy stays on. Now, she's not full throttle. See, Amy was never meant to stay on.
See,
She wasn't meant to stay on all
She
the time.
wasn't.
She was meant to cut on, to help you to escape something that may have been adverse, something, that you fear. And she was meant to keep you in a safe place.
Right.
Amy was never meant to stay on all the time. Right. What is happening in this society? Amy is staying on all the time. All right? All the time. Chronic stress. All right? So people are chronically amped up, and Amy never cuts off.
Right.
When Amy never cuts off, then the physical effects, the cortisol, all of the things that are poured into your body, the hormones
Toxic.
that are put, they are toxic. They wear on your heart. They wear on your mind. They wear on, your blood sugar levels. They wear on your immune system. It wears on everything because those hormones are never turned off. Like that faucet,
Right.
they're never turned off. And you know what? It's not costing you a water bill, honey. It's costing you your life.
Your
So the
life.
more of the
My
story
goodness.
is we've got to say, you know what? I've got to deal with the stress, Lady
Yes,
V.
we got to.
We've got to attack it at the core, the stressor. So you know what? We've got to come and do some shows on the stressor. But we're going to talk about it a little bit, and then we may have to do a part B, C, D, E, F, G through Z. You understand what I'm saying? Then come back to A again. So what am I saying, Lady V? What I'm saying is that, what is your stressor? I've said a lot, okay?
Yeah.
We've talked about how the body works. Amy, okay, the amygdala, that core prefrontal cortex, that executive functioning, that part of your brain that's rational. We say that most people spend a lot of their time letting Amy take control. Amy tries to keep you safe, but sometimes Amy gets set off by things that she shouldn't even be set off by.
Right.
Okay, you are thinking more with Amy, and you're being more emotional than it getting to the rational part of your brain.
Right.
And so I want to say, if that is you, it's okay. A lot of people are there. So what can you do? What are some practical things you can do? All right, number one, when you feel yourself getting stressed, I want you to stop and say, what is stressing me? Okay, that sounds so simple, but it is just not. Okay, so number one, what is stressing you? So you're stressed, you're keyed up, you feel yourself getting stressed. I need you to backtrack. Okay, stop right there. Be like, I'm feeling some kind of way. My head is hurting. I want you to stop right there. What were your conversations that morning?
Right.
Who were you with? What happened the night before?
What did you eat?
What did you eat? What did you not eat? Are you hydrated? Have you eaten anything? Where are you spiritually? What is going on with you for that stress, for Amy to be cut on? What cut Amy on? That's a major issue, Lady V, because most people don't even know what cut Amy on
Right.
and why she's on, okay? So,
And don't forget to take your medication if you're on it.
oh my
okay?
goodness, if you're on medication, please take the medication.
Please take your
Okay,
medication.
please take the
Thank you.
medication. Okay. But for those of you who aren't and you don't even know what the stressor is, I need you to identify it.
Yes.
Now, once we identify that stressor, oh my goodness, we can make it from there. Look, stressors are going to change. It could be the bug in the corner. It could be your child, your grown adult child that should be on their own, that's getting on your nerve, that's in your house again. You like, what in the world? It could be your spouse. It could be your boss. It could be your church. It could be anything, y'all. I ain't leave them out. I ain't leave that out either. Okay, it could be anything. But we've got to address it. We've got to identify it. And then once we identify it, we can do something about it.
Right.
Okay? Don't be out there with Amy on, turned up, valve full throttle,
All
and
day,
you
all
don't know what's the stressor. All right?
Right.
So I encourage you, find out what the stressor is. Go back and backtrack and realize what the stressor is so that we can address it, okay? So I think I've given a lot today. I hope that you learned something today. We're going to continue to talk about stressors, how to deal with stressors, but I want you to pause and breathe. Put your hand on the table. Put your hand on both of your legs. I want you to take a deep breath in on 4, breathe out on 8, honey. Take a deep breath in and calm Amy down. calm down. Get Amy, breathe, take a walk, do something to calm Amy down so you can get to that rational brain and you can begin thinking what it is. So look, you all, I hope you learned something. I just always want to give a shout out to Yes Lord Radio. We love you. Thank you for this beautiful platform to disseminate information about mental health and wellness. And so look, y'all, it's time. It's time to get your mind right. You all have a blessed day. It's time to get right. Okay.